Howdy y'all, it's Zach Dog, and I'm here with a quick little EU4 video. Haven't made any of this, I'm gauging the interest, and it's a bit of an exploit tutorial, but I think it's a fun one. Now, if many of you know, there is a Easter egg nation in the game that you can play, not in Iron Man. We'll just spawn in and watch, called Jan Mayen, and you can only put it in via console commands. So, logically, you couldn't do this playing Iron Man. But thanks to a custom nations exploit, so you will need El Dorado. Sorry. I know I'm personally one who really is light on DLCs, don't really like buying them if they're not necessary. So I only have a couple, and El Dorado is one of them, and it's required because it adds custom nations. So I don't know if any, I think it's the only one that adds that feature. So you're gonna start, you can do, it doesn't, literally, it does not matter. Baden. It does not matter. Just do normal mode, not Iron Man mode. That's obviously important. And if you don't know what if you know what the customation exploit is, then putting Jan Mayen in a Iron Man probably sounds pretty simple. Um, and if you know what it is, then you probably don't really need to watch the rest of this. However, if you don't, well, here. So first things first, you're gonna want to add Jan Mayen into the game. So you're gonna type bear has landed into the console. And guy, I think that's a good place. Now, keep in mind, if you're trying to do a serious Iron Man play out of this, you're gonna want to, because it'll do a random province, you're gonna want to do a good one near Europe or in Asia. I don't know where this is. And the next thing you want to do, it's not really necessary, but I like to do this, and to do tag JMN, which will switch you to Jan Mayen. And let's go actually see, where did we spawn? Looks like in Asia somewhere. I don't actually know. Ah, here. Oh, right near the Timurids. This is a good start actually, because I got the vulnerable Timurids here, which you can eat up early. Now, I'll show you, when you start Iron Man, it won't be exactly like this, but you will have the normal Jan Mayen start. Now that you've got this, you want to save the game. Like I said, you don't actually have to be the Jan Mayen, but it's helpful. Oh, also, you're going to want to, when setting up the game, I didn't show this, make sure that you have custom nation difficulty on probably normal. You just don't want it real low. You don't want like 50 points in case you land, because you could land theoretically like in Rome or in somewhere with just extremely high development provinces that could theoretically make it so you can't do this. All right, we're back. So you don't want to hit continue game. You're going to go to single player, go to saved games, and then click the Jan Mayen. You can see I've got a couple other saves here, and these will be important later. You're on a non-Iron Man one, but it doesn't really matter. So now, very important, you see I can click Custom Nation here. It won't be like that by default. You have to go to Options, Custom Setup, and Allow Adding Nations. So you can see I have it set on very easy. But that's going to be something you set up starting this game. It'll be very important that you have it at least like normal difficulty. So first you want to do, you're going to do custom nation, and you want to start it nearby, but importantly not in where you want to cover. So I'm going to start it in Chabar. It literally doesn't really matter what you do here. You select all over Jan Mayen, and there you go. You could do this anything. It doesn't really matter if you're, because it's so cheap, 9 points. You're gonna hit done. So you got this custom nation. Now you're gonna click on somewhere else, another save. It's going to ask you to delete it. You're gonna hit cancel. Now you see custom nation and Jan Mayen is both gone. It's a new 1444 start, completely new. You know all the options. You're gonna do custom nation again. You're gonna hit add. Click here. Now you see Jan Mayen is revealed. So you're gonna hit delete. You don't want to add it in there. Click on Jan Mayen, play Ironman mode. And we're gonna hit play. Name it Mayen. Start Ironman. And as you can see, we are starting in Ironman mode as Jan Mayen. It's going to be a little bit different than if you started normally. As you can see, first of all, you're not going to start with cores on anything. So you're going to have to core it. So you're going to use up your initial stuff. And you also don't start with the massive army that you normally do, but you do start with the Jan Mayen ideas. If you can see the court, we actually have a oh, I guess I don't really know why his age is like that. Whatever. Uh, in here, now we actually start as animist. However, you can pretty easily get those rebels to spawn and convert you to whatever you want. Same thing with culture. As you can see, now there's no states, so you can't actually convert that yet. But once we don't have what we need to do there. Uh, Now, thing to note now, because you're also going to have the no more of the invasion modifier, which is good and bad. Good news is not everybody hates your guts. Bad news is you actually still have unrest because that also gave you -10 unrest. You do have, of course, the Jan Mayen ideas, which are pretty good. Mostly the -15% core creation cost makes this potentially very useful for world conquest. And if you go look, there are achievements completely enabled. We have all of these we could get, no matter what you could probably pretty easily get the guarantee of peace if you really wanted to. It's funny, I've gotten so many achievements. I've never actually finished a campaign. Morale, I think he might have an idea dealing with that. Obviously, that should be no problem. Basically, depending on where your start is, you can have a real strong country. And but you get the picture. Essentially, you're now playing as Jan Mayen with the Jan Mayen ideas of core creation cost, um, better infantry combat. That's not that great. More cultures, I guess. They're not that bad or good, but they're also pretty good. Jan Mayen ideas, you can get to say that you're playing an Iron Man game as Jan Mayen. Uh, that there you go. Like I said, it's not quite as overpowered as normally. You get 10,000 modifier just from base value. You don't have any cores. You don't start out with 50,000. You don't start out with a huge amount of men. You don't start out with cores on anything, which is really the biggest potential problem because if you do start in like Europe, it could really hurt you. But I don't know why the neighbors aren't revealed. I'm guessing just a way part of the side effect here. They'll be revealed, I'm sure. And there you go. You can play as Jan Mayen. You can change your culture. So after you get your Jan